Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business Live. My name is Darryl Kwao. Coming up tonight, Ghana stands at risk of increased cyber attacks as more activities are transacted online during this pandemic. Also coming up, Vodafone Ghana invests in fiber broadband as a new measure to solve the cable cut challenges. Plus, Ghana's biggest fully automated poultry farm seeking to revive the alien sector. We have that story on the Joy Business Van. Do stay with us for details right after this break. In our first story tonight, Ghana's digital infrastructure and information systems stand highly exposed to unforeseen attacks in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. If emergency measures are not put in place to check the country's cyberspace, that's warning coming from the National Cybersecurity Advisor, Dr. Albert Nchiboisiako, as the country experiences significant increase in online activities. There's more in this report.
There has been an increase in cyber attacks in the last few months as the COVID-19 pandemic triggers a rise in online business activities. The challenge, however, is the country's readiness to curb the situation. Speaking with Joy Business, National Cybersecurity Advisor Dr. Albert Nchiboisiako admitted that the country would be highly exposed to attacks if emergency measures are not put in place by both government and the private sector.
At the national level, there is a gap we need to address, and the minister has raised serious concern, especially in the era of COVID-19. Ghana risks serious, challenge. There's a serious risk exposure to businesses, to government data, to our digital infrastructure, if we do not scale up our readiness to protect our critical national information infrastructure. And during the lockdown, the only mechanism that allowed us to engage was on digital platforms, right? In fact, that shows the uniqueness, the fact that digital platform now is just, a key mechanism by which life, both productive and even social lives can be achieved.
Dr. Albert Nchiboisiako is urging businesses operating in the country to put in place specific safety measures to safeguard their digital space as government continues to review the protocols and policies on cybersecurity.
Imagine the scale of such attacks on our national infrastructure. And these things have happened before. Ukrainian power systems have been compromised. Romania, their revenue management system, compromised. And that is a real concern that we have as a country. And I think we call on, it's a collective work that we need to do. But of course, government is leading that challenge in terms of revising the policy, in terms of introducing legislation that will incentivize, but also compel businesses to improve their information security programs across border.
The National Cybersecurity Center is an agency under the Ministry of Communications with the aim of securing Ghana's digital journey. The center currently has a 5-year National Cybersecurity Awareness Program dubbed A Safer Digital Ghana to build capacity and create awareness on cybercrime and improve on the country's cybersecurity readiness.
Now, Vodafone Ghana has invested in fibre broadband as a new measure to solve the cable cut challenges. The move, according to the company, will also ensure that customers on the fibre broadband get the best internet experience, which is an upgrade from the previous system. Chief Executive of Vodafone Ghana, Patricia Obonai, told Joy Business at the launch that the cable cuts have caused a huge loss to both the company and customers, hence the move.
So, fibre speeds are 10 times better than what you get on copper. So the transformation is significant because at the moment people don't have time. They are doing their work at home. They need to move quickly. The children need to study. Most of the classes are face-to-face and online. The teacher is speaking. So you cannot afford to have slow internet at times like this, which is why reliable service and a faster speed is basic. And that is why we are actively doing this for our customers. As I said, this transformation started about a year ago. The reason why this is significant is that it covers one of the largest areas that we have done so far. So it's in the tens of millions of dollars. not cedis, tens of millions of dollars. And that is why, for me, it is a significant presentation that we have to do to Ghana to say Vodafone is here to stay. We are here to invest. We are here to make a difference in the lives of our customers. So that when they cut the fiber, it doesn't just affect the broadband customer. It affects my mobile as well. Because don't forget, we have a lot of the mobile on 4G. And 4G, we are writing a lot of that on fiber. So when you cut the fiber, you affect my mobile customers. And from January to now, 2.3 million customers have been affected because of fiber cuts. So it is significant. And that is why I'm making the appeal that when people see our cable, just like they get alerts when they see water oozing out of the Ghana water pipes or they see an electricity cable, they should treat telecom cable as an essential service. It is a critical national asset.
Well, in other news, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems says it will finalize the acquisition process for more than 5 commercial banks interested in getting the investor QR code payment system before the end of this month. According to GIFS, more than 17,000 merchants are ready to start using the services by August this year. This will be a significant push for the country's quest in digitizing the economy. Chihesi is chief executive of GIFS.
As you rightly know, when the QR code was launched, a number of the banks, on the issuing side, at the individual side, they are to ensure that their USSD is working. They are to ensure that their mobile app is also ready for individuals to be able to use. On the acquiring side, which is the corporates, the retailers, they are also to ensure that the retailers, they have all the systems and the rollout and the necessary forms that needs to be filled in. So they are going through that process. And I can assure you that as we speak, about 5 banks have completed the acquiring process, and they have indeed started talking to all their SMEs, their retailers and the wholesalers, equipping them with a universal QR code. We have also one bank in particular that, because of the way the QR code was designed, they have over 17,000 merchants ready, equipped with a universal QR code. So you will start seeing a significant difference in the month of July and August. I only wish that we will take the current situation, take advantage of the current situation, and then fast track, used as a catalyst to fast track the agenda of the Cashlight agenda.
Now, the Finance Ministry has closed down its offices and asked staff to work from home until further notice. The directive comes as staff await the results of their COVID-19 tests. Meanwhile, the ministry is assembling a team of core staff to operate from specific locations as part of preparations towards the mid-year review budget. Charles Aite was at the premises today.
As you can see, the gates have been locked, and it's been locked for the past 24 hours after a memo signed by management directed all workers to proceed in working from home. This follows a mass testing exercise conducted to ascertain COVID-19 cases within the particular center here. Now, when you walk to the entrance of the Ministry of Finance, you get a notice posted on the board, and excerpt of it reads that in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic and as part of measures to ensure the safety of all stakeholders, you are kindly directed to email your correspondence to the address below, and the address given has been correspondence@mofec.gov.gh. So this is the address in terms of correspondence to the general public as well as clients who would want to transact business with the ministry. What we're also learning on the ground is that some of the essential workers within the ministry have been told to work at vantage points around the entire landscape of the ministry. So in as much as they're not in there, some of them, most of them, especially those who are working ahead of the mid-year budget review, have been assigned specific places within the ministries here in Accra to operate. Also, we're learning that various clients who often get to this particular point to interact with most of these essential workers would have to go through strict security protocols. So they get their temperatures checked, they get to wash their hands, they get to social distance before they get interactions of any sort with most of these members. So far, the concerns raised has to do with the impact this could have on traditional business transactions, the signing of checks, the doling out of cash to contractors and whatnot, and how this could even impact in the long run the expenditure within the finance ministry, because it's quite clear that the finance ministry plays a major role in Ghana's revenue expenditure and a major role in financing of major projects in the country. But for now, this is what you meet when you visit the entrance of the finance ministry. Various public servants and various customers are trooping in. They might not have heard about the news yet, so they get information from the information desk and they walk away, or they have to advance their correspondence via mail. All right, so this is Cocoa House, the head office of Ghana Cocoa Board, the main regulator of Ghana's cocoa sector, which shows that workers are currently not inside. It's all due to the recent closure of not just this complex, but various subsidiaries of Cocoa Board, as an emergency fumigation exercise currently is underway to protect workers and clients from COVID-19. So far, there are concerns about the impact this could have on Ghana's cocoa sector. But the chief executive, Joseph Boyne Edu, in a statement has made it quite clear that they're going to be doing everything virtually. Nothing is going to disrupt the operations. And of course, this fumigation exercise is a temporary measure to address issues and threats of COVID-19. I'm Charles Aita reporting for Joy Business.
Now, Ghana's poultry industry has seen a decline for almost 2 decades. The decline has been blamed on competition from cheap imports and decreasing profitability of egg production. However, management of Ghana's biggest automated poultry farm is hoping to change that storyline. The Joy Business van today visits Akko Farms Limited at Apasari in the eastern region to learn more about the technology which could potentially transform our poultry sector. It may be the first time you're hearing of the village of Apasari, but the eastern region town is home to Ghana's biggest automated poultry farm. It started operations just about a year ago. In fact, the owner, Benson Opoku, only wanted to run the farm on a small scale at his home. Who would have wanted to do this on a large scale anyway, seeing that the poultry sector was steeply declining? But that plan changed after he was convinced he could operate on a larger scale with an automated system. Benson Opoku decided to take the risk, and the outcome, a 40,000 bed equipment with the potential of producing tens of thousands of eggs. Project consultant Ben Obredu is taking me on a tour of the facility. He was instrumental in the acquisition of this setup.
We saw that there's a big potential market which we can explore, but cost of production is making a lot of the poultry farmers not to expand or grow. So for us, we saw that bringing in technology like this can make us produce more and thereby reducing our cost of production.
What technology are we talking about? The fully automated battery cage system imported from China. It ensures minimal human contact, minimal contact of birds with their own drop-ins, and prevents outbreak of diseases from the external environment. It's got a hatchery and a feed processing plant.
Feeding them, you don't use our hand to feed them. Cleaning the room, the manure removal system take out. We don't give them water because of the automated water system. They drink the water themselves through the nipple. So taking care of them is so easy. You just need only 2 hands. You just need only 2 hands to take up all this waste in a day.
Akko Farm's main focus now is egg production, and this setup enables it to achieve a 90 to 95% laying rate compared with the deep litter system, which could have around 60%.
The eggs are dropping, so this is the egg collection system. It's collects all the eggs from the layer house, then it moves into this collection system and packaging system. So this collect the eggs, and this equipment will package the eggs into the crates. So as you can see, the eggs are coming out from the layer house.
Fascinating stuff, isn't it? Ben tells me every 2 hours, the egg collection system can pack over 1,000 eggs. So far, 13 million cedis has been invested in the farm, 70% self-funded and 30% from the Exim Bank under the One District, One Factory initiative. Cost of feed is probably the biggest challenge every poultry farmer faces.
With the technology, we cut wastage out. So our cost of production will be reduced a bit. Then also, we are looking at getting our feed component locally. So we get the maize from the farmers, then we process it to give it to our birds. And we are looking at getting maize cheaper. Then for us to further reduce it, we are starting to plant our own maize, grow our own maize. With that, we will also cut down the cost. So when you put all this with a good management system, we will be able to produce at a lower, the cost lower. Then we will also sell our products at a good price.
Looks like Agro has got it all figured out. And oh, the droppings of the beds, which are gathered separately by the system, Ben tells me, are currently being processed into manure. The manure will be used in the cultivation of maize and further cut down on the cost of purchasing feed. Meanwhile, the farm is undergoing expansion. Management hopes to increase the number of beds from 40,000 to 500,000. In future, they would also want to venture into the production of broilers, but then they would face stiff competition from imports.
It's about price. Most of our local farms are not able to produce on large scale, and thereby reducing their cost of production. So their prices are a little bit higher than the imported one. And you know, with our standard of living, most of our people, Ghanaians in the lower level, cannot afford those ones. So they would rather go in for the foreign ones.
Aqua Farms is positive the investment in technology will drive down prices and make it outcompete foreign imports. It's been a good year so far, and management is looking forward to the next. Now, finally tonight, leading wax print company GTP has added some color in these dark moments, documenting the major events of the COVID-19 pandemic in a new line of designs. Now, Charles Aite has seen them all. In his report, you also see these designs which have become the talk of town and a cash cow for dressmakers.
Textiles, they say, imprint the experiences of memorable events in our lives, be they exciting or gloomy as the coronavirus. Here in Ghana, a leading local textile firm, GTP, is giving a positive narrative to the coronavirus pandemic. Chronicling national events from the lockdown to the various presidential updates, I sat with Stephen Bedu, head of sales for GTP.
With the onset of COVID-19, the challenge we sought to address was, how do we tell the story of COVID-19 in a positive light? How do we put a positive twist to something as accursed as COVID-19? So we challenged our creative team to the task to say, guys, what do we do?
A lot has changed since Ghana recorded its first COVID-19 case. The emergence of lockdown measures and the restriction in movement have sent businesses gasping for survival. Interestingly, these measures have had a positive turn on the local textile industry, hitherto exposed to the illegal proliferation of fake textiles into the local market from especially China and Nigeria.
This is going to be the design room where all the magic happens.
This is where all the magic happens. These creatives are the brains behind the 3 popular textile designs in the Ghanaian market. Fellow Ghanaians, Lockdown and Nana Spectacle. Oh yeah, you heard right.
Our President, His Excellency Nanado, you would notice that every time he addresses the nation, his salutation was always fellow Ghanaians. That was the first phrase you would hear. And it runs through all his speeches to the nation. And we thought this was a nice phrase to name the design which we're going to introduce And therefore, we came up with fellow Ghanaians.
Bismarck Edu-Asare oversees the creative desk of GTP. He walked me through the hidden details of these popular COVID-19 textiles.
This was, in our mind, the first measure that was taken. It was a stay-home measure. It was everybody being indoors. So we find chains and padlocks to the chains. So it was like we were all shut in. At the middle of March up to April.
So this one has to do with the
airports being locked.
The restrictions on air movements.
Air movements, okay. So you see fans like the airplane fan blazed with the padlocks attached to them. Sort of no-fly zone or restriction of passengers. And that Nana here was the brain behind.
Nana was the brain behind it. Okay, Nana. So what made you bring all these things together to symbolize the restriction on air movements?
Oh, okay, what we heard was there was a lockdown around the airports and then the borders and then the various shops have to be locked down.
In trying to depict it, what we did was that for one concept, we took his most favorite classic design, that is Hein Pankasa, and put in the glasses, which has become iconic for our commander-in-chief, and put the two together to create this wonderful design. This was also the brainwork of Dede, and it came out really nice, and we were amazed about the response. It's not just about the revenue, it's getting every Ghanaian to own a part of this year, so that, as you rightly said, to posterity, we would have a story to tell. And that is more value to us. And in doing that, we also sell the brand name GTP.
The popular Fellow Ghanaians print was curated by Franklina Dedenate. This design has glasses on them, similar to the signature ones worn by Ghana's President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who's been given regular updates on the virus. How do you feel as well?
I feel very great and happy because at least I'm seeing people are liking it and they are also buying it. So I feel very happy about it.
The new fabrics have symbols like padlocks, keys, and planes to reflect some of the measures implemented to curb the spread of the coronavirus. Wax prints are popular in Ghana. Many office workers wear them on Fridays. Demand for these collections have skyrocketed, and for a textile company previously struggling to stay afloat, not more than 100,000 yardages of textiles hit the market daily, thanks to COVID-19.
Beautiful, isn't it? Well, that's Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching. My name is Daryl Kwao. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Get the latest news from there. myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for watching once again. We're back same time tomorrow.